I have a couple of brief items here in the first part of the program tonight. Two of the fascist propaganda outfits in the United States, Newsmax and Onan News, well, they call themselves One American News, both of them were sued yesterday by the voting technology company Smartmatic. The lawsuit says that Newsmax and One American News should be held accountable, or must be held accountable, for spreading the conspiracy bullshit. That's not in the petition or in the lawsuit. That's my word. For spreading conspiracy bullshit about the 2020 presidential election that the orange vomit Donald Trump used to cite and arouse and lead and organize an insurrection in this country against the United States. Now, there are two separate lawsuits, and Smartmatic has accused One America and Newsmax, both in separate lawsuits, of knowingly lying that the voting technology company rigged the election against the orange vomit, Donald Trump. I mean, it takes a lot of balls for these two so-called, well, they're propaganda outlets, fascist propaganda outlets. It takes a lot of balls for them to make a declaration that a company like Smartmatic has rigged the election because of altering their technology to deny the orange vomit a second term. I mean, it really shows how the fascists in this country feel like they're protected, that they can do that sort of thing during the election, that there was no way they could hide behind the First Amendment guarantee of freedom of speech while they work in the process of destroying the freedom of speech. This is how dictatorial regimes dissolve a democracy. They use the elements of the democracy to kill it. Now, Smartmatic has said, no. Smartmatic adds in their lawsuit that these two fascist propaganda outlets doubled down on the false claims that Smartmatic was instrumental in denying the orange vomit a second term. And they did it as part of an effort to win over Trump supporters who were dissatisfied with Fox News Network's election coverage. Now, you remember what happened. Fox was the first, I think, to declare a certain state. What state was it that Trump had lost? Was it Arizona? I think it was Arizona. And that just, you might as well have taken a sharp pointed stick and shoved it up Trump's nether regions, which would cause him as much pain as saying something like that on the air, which Fox did. And at that point, that was supposed to be a signal that Fox was now turned into a liberal communist organization that viewers had to flee and go to One American News or Newsmax. God, these people are insane. Anyway, Smartmatic sued One American News, which is based in San Diego, in U.S. District Court in D.C. And the case against Newsmax is headquartered in West Palm Beach, Florida, right across the road, I guess, from the luxurious enclave where the orange vomit squats on his pile of cheeseburgers. And that case against Newsmax was filed in state court in Delaware. Now, in a statement, I should say, a spokesgeek for Newsmax said this. Listen to this, quote, "While Newsmax has yet to receive or review the Smartmatic filing, Newsmax reported accurately on allegations made by well-known public figures, including the president, his advisors, and members of Congress, as well as reporting on Smartmatic's claim in its defense. Smartmatic's action against Newsmax today is a clear attempt to squelch the rights of a free press." End quote. You see how they do that? So Smartmatic, in trying to protect itself against these fascist son of a bitches, according to the response from Newsmax, Smartmatic is engaged in an attempt to take away the rights of a free press in the United States. It's astonishing. And I remember a number of years ago, there was a case in Florida where Fox News, the local affiliate of Fox in whatever city it was accused of lying on the air. I don't remember what the case was, but I remember it had to do with putting out false information. The case went to court, and a judge in the case ruled that there was nothing in the Constitution that said the press had to speak the truth. So, in fact, Fox, the local Fox affiliate, won that case. It had to be 15 years ago. So the local affiliate won, which meant that from that point on, there was no problem with a purported news organization that says we are a news channel. We report the news here in Ocala or Orlando or wherever the hell it was. But there was nothing to stop them from making that claim and then going on the air and lying about everything that they wanted to lie about, anything they wanted to lie about. Unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, a representative for One American News did not immediately respond to a request for comment from, the Reuters news agency. And Smartmatic hasn't said how much money it is demanding from Newsmax and OAN. But I guess the lawsuit said that this election conspiracy horseshit that Newsmax and OAN continues to put out there has erased $2 billion in value from the company. $2 billion gone because of these swine, these capitalist, fascist, lying bastards who claim to be news outlets. Now, whatever damages will be owed by each of these two propaganda outfits will be determined at trial, according to Smartmatic. What else? Oh yeah, Smartmatic's headquarters are in Boca Raton, Florida. And back in February, Smartmatic sued Fox, which is based in New York, and the parent company, Fox Corporation, and several Fox propagandists who were on the air in a New York State court, saying they falsely accused the company of helping rig the presidential election in favor of Joe Biden. You know, I realize that the most successful, and I don't mean this as praise, the most successful lying piece of shit propagandist in the history, as far as I'm concerned, in modern history anyway, was Adolf Hitler and his gang. And Trump is following exactly, footstep by footstep, what Hitler laid out for any would-be tyrant to use as a training manual. And Trump and the scum around him have followed it absolutely to the max with the big lie. And as a kind of a ripple effect from the big lie that the election was stolen from the orange vomit, you have individual after individual, company after company, institution after institution, members of Congress in both the House and the Senate, all sorts of people who have furthered the big lie. Christian, so-called Christian preachers and evangelicals and universities, I mean, individual instructors, professors at universities. It's madness how this has rippled out from the center, this bulbous, filthy son of a bitch, Donald Trump. And it is for me, it should be for anyone paying attention, a clear indication of how desperately fascism is desired in this country by so many people in institutions who cannot tolerate any further the democratic process, especially now it's become apparent that women and so-called minorities and poor folk and indigenous people and liberals and immigrants and all sorts of people are demanding equal access to the constitutional guarantees that the framers put together for their own benefit. But now, other than white people, everyone who lives here, everyone who's a citizen here, I should say, is now demanding the same protections afforded to white people by the U.S. Constitution. And for some reason, and I don't quite get this, but for some reason, this is just scaring the shit out of white people. What's wrong, my white brothers and sisters? Are you all this goddamn cowardly? Are you this afraid of different cultures, different religious beliefs, different interpretations of how one should live one's life? Of course, this is assuming that it's within the bounds of the law. But what is it about white people? Why are you so goddamn scared, you bunch of little ghosts? I mean, you just flit around like your ass is on fire. You're so afraid of what? The most violence in the history of the world has been committed by white people. And you're afraid now of colored folk? Oh, Jesus, so to speak. And you Christians, you have so little faith because you know it's all bullshit. But you're so cowardly. You're such cowards. You're so scared of your own mortality that you think there's an exit. Ooh, I'm not really going to die. Yes, you are. And you're going to stay dead. But Christians seem so goddamn petrified. There are other religions too, but I'm talking about here. So petrified of any questioning, any challenge, any discussion about their religion, that they would do anything to destroy that sort of challenge. If it comes from Muslims or Jews or Hindus or atheists or agnostics, oh my God, stomp it out quickly, because we don't believe this shit ourselves, seems to be the message. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.